Oh, there's Bernie Sanders with National Nurses United. Yeah. See the one in the black and the white in the middle? That's Bonnie Costello. She heads up National Nurses United. She's rolling in the millions, and she's a nurse. But she heads up a union. She has millions. I've looked into all these people. I've investigated all these ties for 4 years. For 4 years. And I already knew American Nurses Association was corrupt. I've done enough videos on that because of my experience with Illinois Nurses Association way back when. But the thing is so what I want to say really to the senators and representatives is this is because what this is pay for play crap. That's what it is. They give Bernie money. Okay, and then Bernie, you know, helps push their initiatives. And Bernie's all on board with socialized medicine. I don't even know why Bernie gets elected at all. Why don't you people just, there's so many socialist countries. I don't know why Bernie and all the nursing associations just don't move to the socialist countries. Stop trying to destroy America's Constitution. But no, you can't have that because you got to take America down so you can have your dictatorship global system. Agenda 2030, good old Agenda 2030, and all of these nurses have led all their members down the wrong track thinking that this is a good thing. And so the problem with this is that really America's Constitution, and of course they don't respect it, but is supposed to be about the everyday people, you and I. Okay, so it might be good if the senators, I mean, if there is any there, that actually care about want to actually honor the Constitution, that you stop listening to these nursing associations and maybe just listen to a nurse. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be me, but just, you know, one that's not tied to any of these organizations that can tell you the truth of what is likely best for the system. That doesn't have any agenda to some UN. Because that's really what you senators were supposed to do. But instead, you get into all these organizations, associations, you get money from them, and then you guys serve each other. But that leaves the rest of us out. Now, granted, I'm a nurse, okay, but I don't have the 25 letters after my name like all these experts do at the top of these associations. But I've seen how morally bankrupt they are. It's unfortunate. It really is. You think it's just, oh, it's a freak, you know, thing here and there. But no, it seems to be across the board with the people at the top. So I said how my chief nursing officer, she was part of Emergency Nurses Association. She was a high-level person. Then came to us, like, in the last 6 months. And is the chief nursing officer, but has no psych experience. Which shows why she's so disrespectful to psych nurses. But plays that, you know, like when you go to her Twitter account, it's all about posting stuff about ENA, which is Emergency Nurses Association. So I had emailed Ron Johnson because he seems like a reasonable senator. You know, he did the COVID, uncovering the COVID corruption, what was really behind all that the media never says. He had some, you know, committees on that, and then he interviewed, or he had, you know, had a hearing with a bunch of frontline healthcare workers that went, you know, the ones that frontline doctors that got away from all this mess, and they went off and created frontline doctors. Well, there's a Frontline Nurses Association, and so the head of that, you know, Ron Johnson had listened to her. She was that nurse in New York during COVID that uncovered. And the media rips her apart, but everything she says is true. But it just, that showed how, that's why so many people don't trust our media anymore, because, well, there's been too many doctors and nurses that have come out and have refuted all this. But while you have the truthful people saying the truth, then you have these people that are, you know, up to no good because they're on board. And even though the people that Ron Johnson interviewed will tell you all these associations are tied to Agenda 2030. So when I knew that an emergency room nurse from a state association was going to be my new chief nursing officer, I thought, oh, well, we know what this is about. And she quickly, at first, seemed like she was all for the nurses, but then completely disregards safety. But yet when she's on her Twitter account, all she posts about is Emergency Nurses Association. So it's like, then why are you in psych, huh? just to beat up psych nurses? Is that what it's about? Just to be disrespectful? Just to make things unsafe? Because that's what you do while you post on your Twitter account that you're trying to make things safe. No, you're not. No, you're not. But you senators and representatives have an obligation to listen to the everyday people, not all these people that formed their groups, and because they give you money and you need that money, you listen to them. You all should step down if that's what you're going to continue to do. I would recommend that going forward, for those that truly respect our Constitution and aren't on board with, don't serve the UN, but are, interested in protecting the United States, I would suggest that you start talking to the everyday nurses, ones that aren't part of any association, so you can really find out the truth. Because what all these associations do, and there's so many nursing associations, is they then flood all your senators and representatives with letters saying, thank you for holding this bill up. Thank you for passing this bill. We're not happy with this bill. We don't like this. So then what happens is those associations are the only people your representatives and congressmen are listening to, because they flood them with letters like this. This is just from one association. There's so many. Like, they probably don't even get to the everyday people when they send them a letter. And would they listen? No, because this is a bigger voice, which is why the associations have done this. But if our senators and reps really want to honor our Constitution, then they should do as our Constitution wanted, which was you're to listen to the everyday person. Not the ones that are just in an association. In fact, those are the people to stop listening to. That is, if you respect our Constitution. There is such unsafe things going on that that should make any nurse that's in a leadership position, that if we had an ethical system, she would have her license removed. Because she can't be that stupid. There was a time when there was an erratic patient that, the patients often climb over the nurse's station. They do. But this guy was really violent. He pulled all the computers. They were like embedded into the desk, pulled them all out. Tore the whole nursing station apart. And so there's a fishbowl that's like connected to the nurse's station. And so the staff went in there where the door was locked because he was so out of control and there wasn't enough staff. The amount of property damage was unbelievable. But then that chief nursing officer still said, no, you got to keep taking people. Yeah, you don't have enough staff. That's a nurse that should not have a license. Definitely shouldn't be in a leadership role, because that's deliberate then. You're deliberately trying to put people in harm's way. And I understand that's hard for people to imagine people would be like that, but these are morally bankrupt people, and unfortunately they're in these positions. So it would be good if any politicians that care about America and care about the everyday person, especially when it comes to nursing or healthcare, please go to the everyday people, your constituents that are nurses, that aren't involved in an association, that can tell you the truth. Because if you listen to these people don't even know how to treat people right. They don't know how to treat patients right. They don't keep patients safe. The difference with psych is, like, most hospitals, you can't deny somebody, but with psych, that's always been considered, like, is this a good fit for the milieu? Because the milieu, you have other patients to think about. So if you bring some homicidal person there that's violent and aggressive with everyone, you will cause the entire rest of the milieu to backslide. So things like that you need to consider, because, you need to consider the whole group, not just, oh, take them. But where I'm at now, no, we don't care about that. No, you take them. You can't even bring up safety, because they're like, no, it doesn't matter. So everything nursing used to be about safety, advocacy, patient first, patient care is gone. So Washington, D.C. needs to start listening to the real nurses that know how it goes.